Welcome to Down the Warp Pipe. I'm Tyler, and on today, the first episode, we're talking next gen. This is the first in the Where to Start series, where I'm going to tackle how to jump into different gaming genres, different game types, topics, or in this case, we're diving straight into a whole new console generation. So, this is a weird question to ask, mostly because there's not a lot of new experiences on the consoles. Obviously, you have stuff like Miles Morales, which is new, and Astro's Playroom, obviously for your PS5. On the Xbox Series X, you have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is also on the PS5, and a handful of other games like Dirt 5 and Cyberpunk, obviously. But really, I would say jump into something that you're excited about, regardless of whether it's new or old. For me, that means playing something that you either haven't gotten to yet or want to revisit, because these new consoles make all of the older games feel new just through the ease of access and ease of kind of jumping in to different games, swapping back and forth. It's a lot better with the solid state drives. For myself, in the past have been a huge PC gamer, so I've experienced some of that, but the game switching is definitely a game changer for this generation, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Whether you've missed the last 10 to 15 years of gaming on console due to playing on PC, deciding to stop playing games for a while just due to personal responsibilities or other things in your life, or maybe, just maybe, this is your first console that you get that's your own. Either way, regardless of which option you pick, you're going to have a ton of fun and a ton of games to go with. That being said, I would highly recommend starting with the subscription services, regardless of which system you get. On the Xbox, obviously, the big new thing is Xbox Game Pass, but really, it's the best value in gaming right now. On the PlayStation side, though, don't think that Sony hasn't got you covered. PlayStation Plus has a massive collection of old classic games that now you could buy, but individually, they're going to cost you more than that 1 year of service. And the best part is that new games keep getting added every month. Just make sure you check the first Tuesday of every month to claim all those free games. You never know when you're going to get one that'll be your new favorite. With that said, you definitely need to make sure to check out the exclusives on both platforms, because that's where a lot of the hard work, dedication, and money gets thrown. So don't hesitate to play something you've missed, play something you're excited about, or if you're like me, just play something with some friends. So now for some personal recommendations. On the Xbox, what I've been jumping into is Forza Horizon 4. Completely loved that game. I didn't think that I would actually find a racing game that was single player, that was open world, that I would enjoy. I'm not gonna lie, open world racing games have never really done anything for me, but the fact that off-road and on-road has a very similar feel, you aren't penalized for going off-road, it makes a really big difference for traversing the world. Also, that Lego expansion is a blast. Definitely check it out. Beyond that, on the Xbox, I crushed through Quantum Break, which is a really weird, kind of obscure game at this point, but is kind of like a TV show mixed with a game. Don't worry too much about the decisions it makes you make throughout the story. You're going to get the same overall story with some sprinkles on top that make it a little personal. But ultimately, it's a fun, short, kind of, well, in that 10-hour range if you want to find something that you can breeze through. Other than that, obviously the classics like Halo, Master Chief Collection is on there. You can also jump into a lot of amazing indie titles. Stuff like Streets of Rage 4. I'm blanking on some of the other ones, but honestly, just jump on Game Pass and go nuts. Anything that you think might be a little fun for you, dive into it. If you want something more relaxing, take some time and check out Planet Coaster. If you have a keyboard and mouse, you can even plug that in there and use a keyboard and mouse to control it on your nifty new Xbox, whether it's a Series X or a Series S. Personally, the next stuff I'm jumping into on Xbox, probably going to be some Control. Quantum Break was fun, but I've heard Control's a lot better. Like I said, I missed out on a lot of stuff, but Game Pass has got you covered. Also, there's the obvious Doom Eternal, which I was waiting for on PC, and then obviously this happened. So now I get to play it on a nice comfy couch. But regardless, your Xbox, even though it doesn't have a lot of brand new exclusives here now, actually none, and not a lot heading forward, don't hesitate to check out Game Pass and the 100+ games that are on there. Big recommendation if you want some friendly fighting amongst yourselves, if you have some friends with an Xbox, or you also have maybe a brother or sister or wife or husband nearby, Killer Instinct. It's hands down one of the best fighting games ever made. I'm sure some of you already know about that, but easily stands up still. Soul Calibur 6 is also on there if you want something a bit more recent. Personally, you can't go wrong with KI as far as I'm standing. In terms of the PlayStation, now, this one is going to be a lot easier. You should jump into Astro's Playroom. That's what everyone's been talking about. That's the same thing here. It really does make a big difference, and it makes the controller feel really different. Another game that actually does a good job of that, although the game isn't really good, is Godfall. Obviously, the people on Xbox dodged a bullet there. Thought it was going to be the other way around, but it's not bad. It's just the most mediocre game possible. I would compare it to Domino's Pizza. It's not bad. It gets the job done. It's fun with friends, but it's also kind of wonky and broken and just strange. It's good with friends, though. If you had 2 other people to jump in with, it's a blast. That being said, I would personally start with Ghost of Tsushima, or as I like to call it, Ghost Sushi. So you can jump into the online portion with some friends, have a blast. I played through it when it came out with the multiplayer expansion. I actually haven't touched a single player one bit yet, and I'm 60 hours into it. So you can jump into that up to 4 friends, 2 for story mode if you want to level up quick, 4 for a lot of fun if you just want to have a good time. That being said, the matches do get a little long when you get towards the end in the gold section. The survival matches tend to take about an hour. So definitely set aside some serious time if you want to get into a good 4-player melee, I guess. I don't even know what you'd call it. But 4-player samurai slash and ninja slash and I don't know. You're supposed to be a samurai, you're supposed to be a ninja. But it's a lot of fun. Miles Morales goes without saying. Platinum that right away. Took 14 hours. I don't think that's particularly long for a platinum, but I'm also kind of thankful because of the backlog of other games that I have, and you most likely will have as well. If you haven't played anything more recent, God of War, hands down, is the way to go, as far as I'm concerned, if you're looking for something mature. If you're not, Ratchet and Clank is the other way to go. I think those are 2 really good starting points once you've gotten through Astro's Playroom and once you've played something new and fresh. I haven't had a chance to check out Assassin's Creed Valhalla yet. I have my copy on the Series X, but I've heard it's really good. A friend of mine's been playing through that while he's looking after his kids, and you can never go wrong. Like I said, either option, you're going to have a ton of games to play and a ton of experiences. For me, the best part of it has been swapping back and forth between games. I recently picked up Ghost Recon Wildlands. No, sorry, Breakout. Breakpoint. Yes, that was the one. So recently picked that up, been playing through it with some friends. A nice little trick that Ubisoft has thrown in there is that you can actually have a trial pass with a friend. So if I bought the game but my friend hasn't, they can actually jump into my game and play it with me. I think that's a great way of either getting someone to check out a game, or in the case of my old roommate, he has a new system, but he's so overwhelmed with new other games. Sometimes he just wants to jump in and have a few hours of fun with friends, and we don't feel like getting him through more Ghost Sushi. In that case, Breakpoint allows me to have something new, him to have something new, and a weirdly refreshing feeling of taking down enemies after a bullet or two, which is kind of nice after playing through 150 hours of Division 2. But regardless of that, I think finding something you really like and jumping into it is the start point. Obviously, it's a bit easier on Xbox with Game Pass. Go nuts, have fun, dive deep, pick some classics, pick some new, pick some old. But on PlayStation, you might have to be a little more limited, but you're going to have a lot more selection coming to you through the sales. Remember, check all the time. I've personally found the PlayStation 5 store to be a little strange. I would recommend downloading the PlayStation app on your phone so that you can check on there, or checking on the PlayStation Network site. Those are going to do a lot better job of laying out everything for you. Microsoft's fine on the Xbox Series X. I haven't had any problems with the interface having a strange layout for the store or anything, but that being said, I can't say I've checked the store out too much. For me, I'm going to jump back into some Fall Guys tonight with the brand new season. I'm going to jump back into, on the Xbox, Forza Horizon 4's Lego expansion, and then, as I said, Control after that. But on PlayStation, what I'm really excited for is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Hopefully it comes out soon. Returnal just got a launch date of March 19th. If you don't know, it's from Housemarque. They're a fantastic developer, although I've personally found it hard to play a lot of their games in the past, just due to having an overhead angle to them. I used to love those back in the day. Diablo 2 was my jam, but I can't really get into games like that anymore. I want something behind the shoulder. I was actually a little disappointed with Diablo 4 about that. With that said, this is next gen. Jump in. My biggest recommendation, switch games up if you have the chance. Also, some third-party mentions. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 goes without saying. And if you want some deep dives to get a little bit more obscure and a little bit more strange with some of your selections, I would actually recommend on the PlayStation jumping into Uncharted Lost Legacy, which isn't part of the PlayStation Plus collection, but can be had for a really, really affordable price when it goes on sale. For me, it's the best Uncharted. It's a little bit shorter, kind of like Miles Morales, but it actually seems, at least in my opinion, that the pacing was much better thought out on that than on the other Uncharted games. Not that they're bad, just I felt they got a little long in the tooth. With that said, enjoy your new console, get ready for more games, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday, because that's what we're all about here on Down the Warp Pipe, Games Tuesday. It's back. Or maybe it never left. Maybe you don't know what it is. Well, let's start it. Games Tuesday. So this has been Next Gen. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you decide you want to subscribe, I really appreciate it.